Oh,
Today, we are streaming to a few different channels, but this is Fridays on the Edge. Welcome to Fridays on the Edge, where Laura and I talk about things like cloud things, cloud native things. If you know what cloud is,
business
or
things.
you're interested in business things, cloud based business things. Today, we're getting back into the main topic of discussion, which is we've been talking about something called the drop squads model. What is the drop squads model? I'm looking at two different cameras right now. So, the drop squad model is a model that we've designed for making it easier to collaborate just online in general with others. We've been using it to build a workforce, and it's all built around a technology that we built. We decided, why not build our own assembly line sort of thing? And so we built a business model that lets people work together and create things, create
Yes, and
ideas.
and it essentially lets you deliver services as if you were an entire business or an entire enterprise, like a large business with a very small team. That's the purpose of the Drop Squad.
Yes, you can operate like a big company without being a big company. So I guess that would be the best way to put it. So yes. So this drop squad model, what exactly, in your words, how would you describe the drop squad model for those who haven't been following our other
Ah,
streams?
great question. So the Drop Squad is essentially like a four-person team. There are again four roles in the Drop Squad model that you can essentially solopreneur them if you want. If you want to do your own thing, you can outsource some of them if you still want to keep it small but just want to work with some other people, or you can build like a four-person team. You can scale it out and have multiple people working the different roles. However you want to do it. It's a beautiful system. But we start with the dispatcher. So, of course, the dispatcher is kind of at the top and is getting people in the right places, managing deals, working with clients to essentially understand what their needs are so that they can make sure that they're getting the right people in the right places to like meet their clients' needs. We also have the agent. The agent
We
is
don't want to get
oh,
deep into
okay.
it yet. We're
Oh,
just
okay.
giving
All
them
right.
like what is the model.
Well, there you go.
We're going to get into that, we don't want to be on an hour long stream.
Hey, I was about to like put it all out there in like 2 minutes, but that's fine.
Well, the main thing I want everyone to know what the point of this is, because on my channel this would make no sense for why would we be talking about this. So if you've been
That's
watching
fine.
my channel and some new videos, I'm streaming to my YouTube channel as well today, and so on my YouTube channel I've been talking about just how do you build like a side income, and it's also relevant to just like the communities we've been running. People have been asking how do you build business, so then that led to me doing things like starting getting back into my YouTube channel myself as well to kind of talk about those topics to make it easier for people to find the resources. And then Cloud Underground, we've been talking about, what we do at Cloud
Mm-hmm.
Underground, how we build things. And so for those who are checking out my YouTube channel and you want to know more about our business and things like that, you can go to cloudunderground.dev. It's all the stuff we're talking about is free. The Drop Squad business model, you can get it all for free. You can use it for free. You can even join our community where you can ask questions about it and work with other people for free.
Yeah.
So,
And if you want to join that, if you're watching on the Cloud Underground channel or on NATO's LinkedIn page, you should be
mhm,
able to find a link for the business model builder program in the description of this video.
that's right. And now, with that being said, now you can start talking about some of those other things. Because
Okay.
what are you going to find when you go into the business builder? You can't really build a business without having a model to operate with, and so we're going to be talking later on about like how to actually build business models and things like that. And we'll talk a little bit about that because we're doing that in the community. If anyone wanted to join our community and just see how business models are built, we're actually just building a whole bunch of business models with a bunch of other people. So it's not us making necessarily a bunch of business models. It's we're working with many different people, and those people are building business models, and so there's just a lot of business model building around us. And if you're trying to just start building something yourself and you maybe don't know how to build something, you can check out the Drop Squad model. So Laura,
So
what is it?
wait.
How does it
Before
work?
we get into that, I want you to define what a business model is. So what do you mean by
Oh,
that?
that's true. What
Everyone's
is a
building
business
business
model?
models. What does that mean?
Business model. Wow. This is a good question because business models, it sounds like this boring thing and it's kind of ethereal of like, well, what does that even mean? So you could kind of think of, I'm going to come up with an analogy that may or may not work, but I'll try to explain it after the analogy too. So if you think of your business as like a vehicle, I guess we can just think of like a car. A car is a vehicle, right? And then you think about like if you have a business, you're trying to get from point A to point B. You're trying to basically make something that people would like to buy, so you have to make a way for them to get to it. So, your business, your vehicle, you're going to have this thing go out there and provide whatever it provides. And for it to get to your goals, for your vehicle to get to your goals, you have to have sort of like cars have to have either like a road, like if you have a highway to drive on, then you can go really fast. If you have a raceway to drive on, then if you have a really fast car, you can go
You
even
go even
faster.
faster.
And then otherwise, if you don't have a road for the car to drive on, then you could off road, but then you have some challenges if you off road. You're probably going to increase your maintenance costs because it's going to impact your axles and your tires and things like that. It's going to be a little bumpier, so you can't go like super fast. So, trying to build a business without having a model first, even if it takes a really long time to come up with a good business model, if you start where the model's there first, then you have like the highway. And when you really get going, you can move actually pretty fast. You can do a lot more, quite a lot more. And then you'll have an idea of exactly what you need, what's supposed to happen. You'll have fewer challenges and issues to solve along the way. So having a business model is an important thing that you can't really. Well, you can. A lot of people learn how to build business and business models basically by just trying stuff, and then eventually by discovering all the things that fail and things that are going wrong. They're like, oh, let's create a highway for this so that we can like get our business moving more effectively. So I guess, yeah,
Yeah, and I think what I would add to that too is for people who do come in and work with us, we have some very specific kind of models or templates that we use to help people create a model. So it's not like we're just like build a model from scratch and like figure it all out yourself. No, that's not. We're here to help you and
that's
like
right.
guide you through it, and that's a big part of what the Drop Squad is, and some of the other tools that we use as well. So
Yeah, because we share the drop squad model because like it's our business model. So if we're trying to hire someone to help us, if they know our model, then we can hire them. If they don't know our model, we can teach it to them. But if we don't have a model to teach anyone, then that's a whole nother story.
definitely.
So that's our model, but we put it out there also because then you can learn from that. You can use it as a template and go build your own models with it. And then also, if someone wanted to learn how to do business with us, then they can come and learn how our business model works. And while any business model is not for everyone, neither is ours. Our business model is not for everyone. It's for the people who it's best suited for. Who is it best suited for? Laura, how would you describe who is our model best suited for?
That's a good question. I think it's best for people who are. Mm, I think you're. hmm, I think it's for specifically people who are kind of at a certain stage in their business. Either, I mean, you can be starting out. But I think there's a certain level of like maturity where you're ready to kind of take it to like the next level. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
What do you think? How would you
yeah,
answer that same question?
yeah. That's a good way to
Who
put it.
is
I've been thinking about
who's
that.
it for?
We've been figuring that for a while. We learned that it's not really beginner friendly. It's really like, let's say, because I was trying to test different people who never started a business, and I concluded that usually if you haven't had at least like 3 years, and that has to include that you've had like a few customers, at least one, really more like five or something, and you kind of understand like those basics, like it's not surprising to you that you can get a customer. I think when you've never had a customer to begin with, then that's a first sort of like if you've been following Notia Point and you look at some of my old YouTube video channels or whatever, we talk about peak experiences. A peak experience is like a lived experience that changes you forever and you'll never think the same way again. Just by getting a few customers, it creates a specific kind of peak experience that trying to follow a specific business model is just kind of too much because usually you don't know why. It just seems like a lot. And you're like, why would I do that? That sounds like a lot of work. Well, that sounds like a lot of work too. And then after you've been through it for 3 years and you're like, whoa, this looks so much easier than whatever is just kind of, going for it. Usually people kind of learn by doing. I don't really see many people go straight from never running a business to like, yeah, now I'm like in this business. Some people can do it. I've seen it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not very common.
Sure.
So I'd say, if you've run a business for at least 3 years, then uh, drop squad model is a scalable way to scale your own consultancies, businesses, income. You can diversify with it. It's a very scalable thing, because we also built a software platform and cloud architecture for it. Like, we built our own technologies, and then we run our consultancies with our own technologies. We deliver our services with our own technologies. We build our customers' technologies with our own
That's
technologies.
right.
And then we do it all with the drop squad model. So you can build different types of businesses with the drop squad model. You can use it to labor and staff companies. You can use it to labor and staff a department. So if you're like a
Mm-hmm.
director and you need to figure out how to streamline, say, like a department that's got 4 or 5 people in it, then you can sort of lean on sort of the principles in the drop squad model and copycat sort of things, because it's based on common things, like how people interact online. We compare it to things that people know. Like interestingly enough, what are some things that are comparables? Like online video games. You can see video games where it'll be like hundreds of millions of people are able to play this game. So we were like, well, what if we made virtual spaces scale that effortlessly? Where,
Mm.
if someone goes on and plays a massively online game, they don't think about how hard or complex it is for them to be on there with hundreds of millions of players. And
Mm-hmm.
I came from doing like beta testing and stuff like that for massively multiplayer onlines and building data centers myself. So I come from building data centers. So I'm very like data center history person.
Mm.
It's very complicated on to make that possible for people. So the Drop Squad model it's really designed for we deliver services for people who want to deliver services for even like enterprises. You might be a team of 1 to 4 people and you want to deliver services to like 10,000 people. It's capable of helping you accommodate that sort of goal. So
Yeah, so I think that's a lot of like good context about like the drop squad. So now I want to transition a little bit into like what are updates? What have been people
oh
in the
yeah.
drop in the DevSecOps Dojo been doing? What are sort of our highlights of the week that we can talk about since we're here every Friday for Fridays on the Edge?
Yeah, so there are a number of other business owners we work with and partners. You can check out companies like Stephanie with Webcraft, and then there's Lit Cloud Canada with Jorge, and Cardoza's company with Michael Cardoza. So there's other companies that folks are building, and also the whole human initiative with Paul Cummings. Now, Paul already built his business, while other members in our community have like built their business like alongside community members with each other and with us and stuff like that. So it really depends. And also Raymond Sarong with C3S Consulting. So we've got different folks building different businesses. So all of them need to be able to have a way to make sure that their business is going to be able to grow. It's a lot of work, obviously, to start building something. So you want to make sure that that is actually an investment instead of just like a waste of time and money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have like a operating model that's going to help you like run what you're doing, then you're not really making an investment if it's something that you can figure out how to make a return on. And without a model, it can be very hard to understand how you can make a return on time and money, because it's kind of a painful thing. I've met a lot of people who started businesses, and just like us, you put in all this money, you might get loans sometimes, you might have some
Mm-hmm.
credit cards at times, and you've got bills to pay and mouths to feed, and so you don't really have options to not afford life. Like you gotta
Yeah.
eat. And I think that's sort of like the big foundation. So it's a lot of folks who, because it's entrepreneurs, you see the real, I would call it the real side. Some might call it like the ugly side of entrepreneurship.
Sure.
But you see all of it. You see the wins when people are like, "Yeah, I just got a contract that's going to pay me 6 figures," and then you get the side of like, "Oh, I just lost a big customer. I just lost a job or something."
Mm-hmm.
You see the full range of it, and because real life is not this straight linear thing, it's hard work. And if you get a customer, then you might lose that customer. It doesn't end. You get a customer, you're going
Right.
to need more. Your business isn't going to just, yes, I made it, I got my first customer. That, well, now that's going to be the next
Now
20
what?
years of
Yeah.
your life. No, unless you sell it. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have things like an exit plan. A lot of folks don't even know how to build like an exit plan. You can come talk to us in the DevSecOps Dojo. DevSecOps Dojo is free, so you can talk about things like
Hmm.
how you get, how can you build business models, how can you build an exit plan. Yeah, so I guess in the dojo, people have been building right now. So we built a consultancy together in the DevSecOps Dojo. Now we're
Yes.
using that consultancy and all of its assets to build a mentorship program for people who want a more premium experience than the free DevSecOps Dojo. So we've been doing this free path for a while now, but DevSecOps Dojo wasn't free when it started, and so we found that people who liked that free or that more premium, they paid for things and got like real tools, real stuff.
Hmm.
They want to recreate that experience together. So we're creating a premium version, I guess, of what you can get out of the DevSecOps Dojo for free. So obviously, those are two very different experiences. DevSecOps Dojo is free. It's always there. It's always free. Come and talk to us. So the mentorship program is like, we're using that where everyone can come in and see what it looks like to build a business together.
Hmm.
So we're building a business. You can learn by watching us or joining in to help us build real business. So we're building this app, this mentorship app technology where we're going to teach people cloud native technologies by building our own cloud native app that we're going to use to mentor people on how to build cloud native technologies that you can sell, build businesses with all that stuff. So uh, then that way, anyone who wants to be able to have like, maybe you don't want to configure your own server. You want to have like a server that's built for you. Maybe you will even want one that's production ready that you can go. And by the time you've gotten through mentorship, if you like it, then you can go ahead and just monetize whatever you've built with your mentor right there.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make something that's like you're actually going and building more of like a real actual portfolio. Now I say portfolio because some folks prefer to work in engineering with technical folks, and there's nothing wrong with that. You could go become a principal engineer or an architect and things like that with the same skills. Some people just prefer that lifestyle, same skills. So usually you need a portfolio to be able to show off what you can build and design. And oftentimes people hire you based on like, wow, I saw your work, that looks amazing. And that's oftentimes how people will get work. That's how members in our community get work, is they're putting themselves out there, showing off what they do. And then if they lose work or something like that happens, they've been networking, so then they're able to get something new and survive and figure it out. So we kind of teach people how to actually have real skills so that your stability is in your skills, not in like the one job that if you lose it, you're
Right.
doomed. We don't want anyone to be
Hmm.
doomed. We want you to not be scared to have to go look for, more customers. And if you can look for more customers, you can get a job. Getting one customer is almost about as much work as getting one customer is about as much work as getting a job. So some
Yeah.
people just want to stop there and just get a job. So anyways, the mentorship program is for anyone who wants to build a portfolio where your portfolio can be used however you want. You can turn it into products or turn it into getting a job.
Yes.
Yes. And then I guess the other thing is we have the whole human cyber. Well, I always forget the proper name of this company. So we're going to say Paul Cummings is the person to talk to. He's an awesome individual. We will be talking to him soon and bringing him on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is the NATO is Code YouTube channel, where we're just going to talk about what it's like when you're building a real business model, what it's like going through it all, and so you'll be able to follow along for that. We'll
Yeah, it's the whole human cyber initiative.
whole human,
The whole human cyber initiative. You
whole
almost had it
human
before.
cyber initiative. I was close.
You were so close. The whole human cyber initiative.
There we go. I'm just making sure I'm not just totally obliterating that
Yes.
business name.
We
Excellent.
try not to obliterate the names of the companies that we work with.
That's right. So we're all learning together and growing community together, and we built our own tech. We teach with stuff that we built. We
Mm-hmm.
use it. We get customers with it. We live full time on it now, and we
Here we
teach others
are.
how to do what they want with their lives. So it's a little different from I guess on all those things you see these weird little group things. We're actually, if anyone's wondering like what are we really, we're pretty much a venture capital firm and a vendor. We're more of just like a vendor than anything, with our main company Cloud Underground. Then we have a consultancy called Underground Ops. So unlike there's like different types of things. You see, like we're not a multi-level marketing thing. We're closer to just like, we're a vendor. You set up partner agreements with us, and then work with us like you would with some other enterprise vendor. We're just one of those tech startups.
I don't know that we're do we are we do
Are we
what
still
can
startup?
I don't know that we're still considered a startup. I don't know at what point you like graduate from being a startup to like a real company.
At this
We're not
point,
going anywhere. Like I feel
we're
like most
going
startups
corporate.
fail, and we're not gonna fail. We've already made it this far. We're not going back. We're not.
Yeah, we're post revenue at this
The
point, and then
the
we
only way
just
is up at this point for us. So it's like I don't really see us having to worry too much about.
we're at this point we're pretty much just a firm.
You never know if anything can happen, but like I don't see us going
Yeah.
anywhere. So yeah,
Just
I don't
doing
think
it.
we necessarily even qualify as being a startup. I think we are now celebrating 4 years of being in business and
4
entering,
years.
you know, looking into our 5th year soon. So
It's happening. We're approaching our 5th
goes
year,
fast.
and it does 5 years. 5 years
Yeah,
is going
so
real
good.
fast.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so it's wow, 5 years. Anyways, we're going.
Not quite. We're at 4.
I know. I'm
It's
saying
4
we're
years.
approaching it.
I know
It's coming up so fast.
80%
Anyway,
of the way there.
wow.
As of like I think February. Yeah.
Oh, the DevSecOps Dojo started.
Does like also
in,
a few months
2019.
even earlier. So
Yeah,
yes.
December. No, it was December 2020.
2020. Yeah, Cloud Underground
So-
was February 2021. There you go, guys.
It all our
Full circle.
the beginning of our taxes, the beginning of our community and the beginning of our tax existence are different. So remember the 5th of November 2020 is when the DevSecOps Dojo launched, which was the foundation for how we funded Cloud Underground, which we took the sales funding that we got from launching the DevSecOps Dojo to launch Cloud Underground, which now the very first customer number 1 is one of the ones leading all the new stuff. So like, if you want to know our oldest member who's been building with us, it goes all the way back to customer number 1, who still has the same development server that
not
we all
oldest
started
in
building
age,
in.
just he's been around.
Oh yeah, not oldest in age. the longest.
He's been our customer. He was like our first customer, and he's still around.
And
so
now he's working on going full time on his own thing. It takes time. Like sometimes you have to work side things, and you got to fund your stuff somehow. You got to survive.
You got to find an idea that's going to work too. You have to be able to like have
Yeah.
the time to like find the right idea that you can test with your audience and make sure it's something that people are actually going to want and actually going to buy, and like so you're not just
It takes time. It takes money.
It all takes time.
It takes frustration, and it takes not giving up until eventually you like. It's really about finding the right people. Like some people are like, well, do I have the right product? Don't worry about the right product. Worry about the right people.
Absolutely.
So I guess that's what we have to say. So check out upcoming streams on the NATO as Code YouTube channel to see information from the Whole Human Cyber Initiative with Paul Cummings and I, as we talk about how business models can be built and designed, and how you want to consider, if you're trying to build a business model. So if you're so one of the things I'm going to be focused on my YouTube channel for those watching on NATO as Code is, if you want to know how to go from, how do I put it? Like using the development of like a side income as a form of education, even if you have like a business and you just want to build like a small side solopreneurship as just a learner business, or you want to, so whether you want to diversify as a business owner, or if you are not a business owner and you just have a job you love and you don't want to quit, you can learn quite a lot by building a side income. And a lot of folks want to know, how can I invest in building a side income? So that's something I'm going to be teaching.
Yeah, so you can watch those on weekdays on the NATO's Code channel.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can always join us here on the Cloud Underground channel and NATO's Code. And for Fridays on the Edge. Yes, we are here. We are everywhere tonight.
I feel like my new NATO's Code webcam is better than my old webcam.
Well, it is a newer webcam.
New webcam.
It's more advanced. It's more sophisticated. It does look nice.
Sophisticated. It's so one of my webcams. If you're on the Cloud Underground channel, you're not seeing it. If you're on the NATO's Code one, yeah, it's not bad. The other one's not bad. Yeah. We'll have to watch it back and see if the audio is any different.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone.